ye, hear ye, hear ye. Supreme Court of Florida is now in ceremonial session. God save these United States, great state of Florida, this honorable court. Ladies and gentlemen, Supreme Court of Florida, please be seated.
Welcome to the Florida Supreme Court. We gather here today for what, in my opinion, is one of the most important events in our annual calendar, and that is to honor the women and men of our profession who volunteer their legal skills to help those who otherwise might not have access to justice. Our state's bar's pro bono efforts take inspiration from a pioneering attorney named Tobias Simon and from an express provision of our Constitution that guarantees access to the courts for redress of any injury. For more than a century and a half, this court has repeatedly recognized that the practice of law is a privilege that carries with it certain responsibilities and obligations. By taking the oath of admission to the Florida bar, every lawyer swears in part, "I will never reject from any consideration personal to myself the cause of the defenseless or oppressed." We convene here today in ceremonial session to honor those in our profession who have shown exemplary commitment in providing legal services to people who would not otherwise have meaningful access to our courts. The first year in which pro bono hours were compiled in 1994 showed that attorneys statewide donated just over 800,000 hours of free service to the people. In the most recent reporting period, that number has risen to nearly 1.7 million hours, the highest number to date. The Chief Justice Pro Bono Advisory Committee has had a very difficult task in making recommendations from a long list of nominees, many of those who are deserving, all of whom are deserving of recognition. We're here today to honor a judge, a law firm, a voluntary bar organization, and specific attorneys for their extraordinary contributions. I know of no profession that gives more freely and unselfishly of its services. Florida lawyers also have donated millions of hours to other kinds of volunteerism, including religious, charitable, and civic work. And in the most recent reporting period, they donated nearly $5 million toward pro bono programs. This work is deserving of public recognition, which is the reason we're here today. For recognizing individuals or groups, I think it entirely appropriate that we all join in a round of applause for the many thousands of members of the Florida Bar who have recognized their responsibility and discharged it with such unselfishness. The Chief Justice Pro Bono Advisory Committee, in their opinion, those who are honored here today are the most deserving. And it's from a long list of nominees, all of whom are deserving of recognition. Though the committee's task was not an easy one, I concur fully in its recommendations. I'd like to recognize the members of the advisory committee. When I have finished reading the names of the members, I will then ask those in attendance to stand and be recognized. Scott Hawkins, who chaired the committee, Rosemary Armstrong, Aramis Danelle Ayala, Judge James Barton II, Vivian De La Cuevas, Mary Ann DiPetrillo, Anthony Holloway, Jennifer Cuzler, Timothy Moran, Catherine Pera, Susan Steinberg Sandler, Michael Seacrest, Lena Smith, and Laura Wendell. Those who are present, please stand now and be recognized. Thank you for your service. At this time, I would like to recognize past recipients of the Tobias Simon Pro Bono Service Award. Those who are present, please stand now and be recognized. We also would like to honor the members of the Florida Pro Bono Coordinators Association. Those of you who are present, would you please stand? We thank you for the work you do within your area. Let me turn to the awards. In 2005, the court added a new award to recognize a state court judge for work toward improving the administration of justice as it relates to pro bono work by lawyers. Specifically, this award honors the judge whose work best exemplifies the aspirational goal described in the commentary to Canon 4B of the Code of Judicial Conduct. The commentary says, support of pro bono legal services by members of the bench is an activity that relates to improvement of the administration of justice. Comment goes on to say that judges may engage in a number of activities designed to encourage attorneys to perform pro bono services. Moreover, this award also honors the judge for outstanding and sustained service to the public. In keeping with this aspiration that we as judges collectively share, it is my privilege and honor to announce this year's recipient, Florida's Distinguished Judicial Service Award. It goes to Judge Claudia Rickard Isom of the 13th Judicial Circuit. Judge Isom currently co-chairs the Hillsborough County Bar Association's 5K Pro Bono River Run. It's an event she has chaired or co-chaired for the past 3 years. She estimates her volunteer time organizing, promoting, and coordinating the race since 2010 exceeds 250 hours. The event raises money for Bay Area Legal Services pro bono services. In addition to volunteering in the Judicial Mentorship Program, Judge Isom has participated in the Florida Bar's e-mentoring project for law students, and the Hillsborough Association for Women Lawyers Mentorship Project, Stetson University College of Law. She previously chaired the Florida Bar Standing Committee on Professionalism and the Rules of Judicial Administration Committee, and currently serves on the Rules of Civil Procedure Committee. Judge Isom is a member of the Supreme Court Standing Committee on Fairness and Diversity and is a certified diversity trainer. She is a member and past president of the Tampa Bay Inn of Court and started its first mentorship within program. She serves as the judge member of the 13th Judicial Circuit's diversity team. In the time allotted, I could not possibly go through the entire record of public service of this judge, but I invite all of you to read that record in the booklet distributed here today. In all, this judge truly is a shining example of public service and of the goals set by Canon 4B. The court now recognizes Judge Isom to approach the bench, receive the award, and shake the hands of the justices and proceed to the podium for remarks.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is certainly a wonderful occasion, and I'm so happy to see so many of my friends and loved ones here, and so many of our comrades from Hillsborough County. It's just a great day for Hillsborough County, and I can't thank you enough, Chief Justice, for this special recognition. Thank you so much. I appreciate this. This is, for me, the Academy Awards of my career. And it's a wonderful opportunity to thank you. I'd like to thank all of the people in the Pro Bono Advisory Committee, and I'd also like to thank the Hillsborough Association of Women Lawyers who saw fit to nominate me for this award. I could not be more pleased. I'd like to recognize my friends and family who've come here today. I wanted to recognize all of them, but I see so many friends that I'm going to have to stop with maybe just my family. So my husband, Woody Isom, is here. My parents, Esther and Dale Rickert, came all the way from southeast Iowa to be with us here today. Hey, some of you guys know where Iowa is. When I first came down here, people asked me, is that the place where the potatoes came from? I had to straighten them out. It's corn. My son Jesse Isom is here. I'm so proud of Jesse. He is a freshly minted attorney, and he gave me the privilege of swearing him in, and he's an assistant public defender down in West Palm Beach now. So we're very proud of Jesse. Our cousins came from Jacksonville today, Becky and Billy Wall, and they've joined us. And our best friend forever, Ted Mack, who we met in law school, is also here today. So I'm using up most of my speech time just recognizing these dear friends and relatives who've come. And thank you for this opportunity to continue to wax on. My other children could not be here today. My daughter, Amber Isom Thompson, is an attorney in Memphis. My son, Adam Isom, is in Little Rock. He's a computer software engineer. And my son, Matthew, is a senior at Rhodes College in Memphis. And hopefully they were able to watch this online. I certainly hope so, and I don't know where the camera is, but hey, kids, I love you. Love you and wish you could be here. I also was very lucky. Jarrett Oldgen is here today, and he was one of my very favorite professors at FSU College of Law, and it's a privilege to have him be able to be here today, as well as the dean. Dean Widener is here. I came down here because of another dean. I went to the University of Iowa, and one of my political science professors, Donald Bruce Johnson, took me under his wing when I told him I wanted to go to law school. And he said, well, you should go to Tallahassee. Well, I had never been south of the Missouri Ozarks. And he said, no, you should go to Tallahassee. They started a law school there, and Dean Mason Ladd went down there, and a lot of Iowa people are going down there too. Well, it sounded like a good idea. I thought I was going to come down here, play volleyball on the beach between classes, and go home. But fortunately for me, I met the love of my life, Woody Isom, one of my classmates, and Florida's home now. He made me promise not to cry. So I'd like to thank FSU College of Law for giving me a solid foundation to launch my legal career. It was great. We had opportunities to do internships. I got to intern with the Public Defender's Office out in Pensacola, got to intern with the Consumer Protection Division here at the AG's office, all while I was still in law school. So it was a great place to start my legal education, and then I was also fortunate to get a job with E.J. Salsinas, who was the state attorney in Tampa, and later became a judge as well. And from that start, my legal career just took off. Judge Salsinas knew a lot of people, and I got to network and get to know the Tampa Bay community. And eventually, I even ran for office and got to meet even more people. So it's been a wonderful career, and throughout my career, I have tried to heed the words of President Kennedy. And like a lot of you, I see some other folks out there, you were probably young and impressionable like I was when he said, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. I took those words to heart, and throughout my legal career, and throughout the 22 years I've been on the bench, I have tried to give back to the community through volunteerism. But what brings us here today is not my efforts, it's the team efforts. Because I'm here today because of the 5K Pro Bono River Run. And what a wonderful effort it is. John Kynes, our executive director, is also here today. John. And the HCBA sponsors this event, and I have to correct one thing about that little bio. We don't raise money. It would be swell if we could raise money, and John, maybe we ought to work on that part of it. But what we do is everybody who participates in the race is given the opportunity to pledge hours. And one of our award winners, one of our proven producers, Rosemary Armstrong, is one of our highest pledgers when it comes to pledging hours to pro bono legal services. So we give an award to the person who pledges the most, says they're going to do it. Then we give an award to the person who actually does the most. Because it's always good to promise, but it's even better to perform. And then we also give an award to the team that pledges the most hours to pro bono legal services. So it's a great event. We're rolling along. We run along the Hillsborough River in Tampa. It's a beautiful thing, getting to see all of those happy, smiling faces running along the river and doing good things for people. So I'd like to just, again, compliment the Hillsborough County Bar Association. The Hillsborough County Bar Association sponsors our event, as does many law firms, but they do a lot of things to support pro bono in our legal community. And I'd just like to say, once again, thank you to the HCBA. And in closing, I'll say, yes, we are pro bono. We are pro bono in Tampa Bay, and I'm proud to be here. I'm proud to be a member of that legal community. Thank you again, Chief Justice, and congratulations to all the award winners.
We're also here today to recognize a law firm for distinguished pro bono contributions. This is a special honor because this award is not given every year, but only when a truly deserving firm is nominated. This year, we honor the Tampa firm of Clark and Washington. The firm is one of the largest filers of bankruptcy cases in Florida, Georgia, and Tennessee. Since its inception, Clark and Washington has striven to help as many people as possible achieve a brighter financial future. This is evident in their lawyers' strong presence in various community organizations and in their large pro bono caseload. Of special note is their effort to provide pro bono services through the Bay Area Volunteer Lawyers Program, the Tampa Bay Hispanic Bar Association. In 2009, the firm offered to accept all pro bono bankruptcy cases referred to it from these two organizations. That act significantly reduced the backlog of bankruptcy cases awaiting placement. In 2011, the firm's Tampa attorneys handled 60 pro bono cases, donating 300 hours of service. The court now recognizes Glenn E. Gallagher to approach the bench on behalf of the firm and receive the award, shake the hands of the justices, and proceed to the podium for remarks.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think you have any idea how nervous you make me. And I don't get nervous, I promise. Chief Justice, rest of Justice, I'm honored here. I really am, because I can't take credit for any of this. I was talking to my boss. They're out of Atlanta, and they hired me a couple years ago. And one of the things that they told me was I had to clean up Tampa. They obviously wanted to be more profitable. That's fine. That's my wheelhouse. But then they said, go out, get back into the community, and give back to the community. And they actually gave me the tools to do it. But as Judge Isom just said, it's very much teamwork. And I'm lucky, John Kynes, the Hillsborough community there, the Middle District in and of itself. And I can say this, and I hope it comes across as genuine. My bosses are hundreds of miles away, so this should be genuine. They're fantastic. They actually give me the tools to do this stuff, but so do the judges down in Tampa. Judge McEwen, Judge May, Judge Williamson, and Judge Delano when she was on the bench there. They actually make it, some of our pro bono cases are difficult, and they treat it with compassion, and they just have a sense about it of all fairness. And their legal acumen is exceptional. And believe me, the decisions do not come down in my favor all the time. but they do come down fair, and that's what I appreciate. The fact that I have gentlemen that I work for, Emery Clark and Rich Thompson, that allow me to do this, and then knowing full well I'm going to get a fair shake from the judges down there, that makes it worthwhile. Now, anyone who has a job like mine that's a managing attorney, you realize that, you know, the days are tough. Sometimes you're nothing more, I hate to say it, than a warden, you know, just keeping the inmates in check. It's true. And then there are days that you're just a good soldier. My bosses, you know, they tell me, I want you fighting this battle, I want you arguing this, I want you filing a motion. And sometimes those motions and battles are unpopular, and it's just, yes, sir, I got it, and I'm on it. And that's tough. And then there are days that I'm in court, and, you know, a judge says, let me get this straight, counselor, and I will tell you, nothing good comes after that statement. Ever. Most recently, it's, let me get this straight, your client thought my order was a suggestion? And not the sharpest on the uptake sometimes, but I will tell you, one, that was not a rhetorical question, and two, the first thing that comes to my mind should not come out of my mouth. Thankfully, I bit my lip and I answered politely, but those are the tough days. But the good days outweigh the tough. And I had the opportunity, I was thinking about this on the drive up. There were two that stuck out. One was a truck driver. And these two examples of the pro bono work that we do are opposites, polar opposites. Truck driver, tough guy, got wiped out in a divorce, literally. His wife was so angry, she got his license suspended. The guy couldn't drive, was living in a tent. And he comes to me and tells me this story, and it was legit. And I'm like, that's unbelievable. So we took care of it. We filed. We got his license back, and in about a month, he was back to making $40,000, $50,000 a year. And he came back, and he said, you changed my life. And I'm like, well, that's fantastic. And then the other one was, this one was a family. And I think they had 3 kids. The mother was laid off. She had breast cancer, and the 7-year-old had leukemia. And you're sitting there, and they wanted to wipe out their 401ks, and they've got kids eventually going to college and everything. And I'm like, no, let me handle this. And they told you, hey, you know what? You changed my life. Those are the days that matter. Everything else, I think that's why we become lawyers, is to help folks ultimately. And at the end of the day, you know, yes, I'm going to have a judge bark at me from time to time. Sometimes it's my fault, sometimes it's not. But at the end of the day, when you can help somebody, I think that's what matters. So I hope you folks accept my gratitude, but more importantly, I am humbled. So, thanks.
Each year, the court also recognizes a voluntary bar association for its outstanding pro bono contributions. This year, our winner is the Tampa Bay Hispanic Bar Association. The association's membership consists of attorneys who have significant experience in representing Hispanic clients in an area that has the 4th largest Hispanic population in Florida. In light of this need, the association has developed programs to help the Hispanic community. Its operation of a volunteer clinic, translation of legal forms, and scholarships are among its pro bono efforts. The Spanish Family Forms Clinic is staffed by the members to assist Spanish-speaking individuals with the completion of the family law form packets that address a variety of issues from divorce to modification of child support. The clinic is free and held once a month at the George Edgecombe Courthouse in Tampa. Members have assisted more than 100 individuals since the program began in April 2009. The association's achievements are more than I can elaborate, so I urge you again to read the material in the awards booklet. The court will now recognize the founding member of the association, Luis Cabasa. Please approach the bench and receive the award, shake the hands of the justices, and proceed to the podium for remarks.
You didn't want this award, I guess. I'll bring it to you. We'll just bring these all back to Tampa. We're doing a good job in Tampa, and it's working together. Judge Isom has been involved with the Tampa Bay Hispanic Bar Association from its early inception. Glenn talked about his firm being involved with the Tampa Bay Hispanic Bar Association. So it truly takes a community to serve a community, and it's everybody joining together and helping the community. The Tampa Bay Hispanic Bar Association is not an organization that's been around for a long time. I was one of the founding members, and I haven't been around that long, I'd like to think. So I have to thank one of the colleagues of the justices for pushing me in the direction of starting the Tampa Bay Hispanic Bar Association. The Bar Association came about when I was I used to be involved with the Young Lawyers Division, and I'm no longer a young lawyer as well. But when I was involved in that organization, I had a meeting over in Orlando, and I met with then Bar President Frank Angonis and Justice Quintero and other statewide leaders of Hispanic bar associations. And we went around the room introducing ourselves. I said, I go by Tony. I said, I'm Tony from Tampa. Justice Quintero looked at me and said, what Hispanic bar association is there in Tampa? I said, Judge, there isn't one. He looked at me and said, you're kidding. Tampa's got a huge Hispanic population, a rich heritage in Hispanic culture, and there's not a bar association over there serving the Hispanic population. I said, Judge, there isn't one. I know there's one in Orlando. I know there's CABA in Miami. There's even the Puerto Rican Bar Association that I was involved with at the time. But there's not a Hispanic Bar Association for Tampa. So Judge looked at me and he said, what are you going to do about that, Tony? I said, well, let me see what I can do. I went back to Tampa. I had a meeting with another lawyer, Ricardo Roy, and we started brainstorming about who do we need to talk to get this organization off its feet. And again, a common thread, you heard Judge Isom mention E.J. Salsinas. It's people helping other people. Judge Salsinas met with us, Judge Virginia Covington, and other lawyers, Gil Sanchez, Lourdes Bernal Dixon. We met, and with the help of those attorneys, those judges, we are able to start the organization, including help from other Hispanic bar associations. Marlene Quintana of Cabo was the president at the time, and she lent her bylaws to us to start the organization. The mission of the association was not to help our members get to rise to the judicial bench. We've done a pretty good job of having Hispanic judges in Tampa for a long time. The mission of the organization was more to serve the community, to help the community. We saw a great need for that. There was, given the large Hispanic population in Tampa, we said, how can we help them? And we identified projects such as the Family Forums Clinic. I don't practice family law, but even being a lawyer and trying to get through those family forums in your own language is very difficult. So we got the forms translated with some help from the Florida Bar Foundation, and we host volunteer at the courthouse on a weekly basis, help those citizens who do not speak English and help them through those family forums. Our mission is to help those in the Hispanic community who need help and to encourage future lawyers or persons of Hispanic heritage to help their community. And I would urge you, I'm probably speaking to the choir here because everybody believes in pro bono in this room, but those folks out in the internet world or wherever this is being broadcast, I encourage you that give back to your community and help your community. Where you see a need, go out there just like Justice Quintero did, push me out there push somebody, push a younger lawyer out there, tell them what good they can do to their community, tell them how they can help these folks. And it's very rewarding, as everybody knows. If you give back to your community, it'll give back in doubles and multiples of that. So I appreciate everybody honoring us. And Glenn, I'll bring you back your award, so I won't take it from you. Thank you.
I will now ask Gwen Young, President of the Florida Bar, to present the Florida Bar President's Pro Bono Service Awards, and then to introduce the President of the Bar's Young Lawyers Division for further remarks.
Thank you, Chief Justice. May it please the court, justices, members of the Florida Bar, special guests, family, and friends of our distinguished honorees. It is an honor and privilege for me to participate in this ceremony, and on behalf of President-elect Gene Pettis and President-elect-designate Greg Coleman and all of the members of the Board of Governors of the Florida Bar and the more than 95,000 members of that organization, I would like to congratulate and thank each of the award recipients for the work that they have done. Today is a very special day, not only for everyone in this courtroom, but also for many thousands of Floridians who have received legal assistance through the volunteer efforts and direct pro bono service of lawyers. I am very proud to say that during the 2011-2012 fiscal year of the Florida Bar, Florida lawyers contributed more than $4.8 million to legal aid and over 1.6 million hours of pro bono service. Florida lawyers are truly committed to making a difference in their communities, and here are just a few examples of the extraordinary contributions made by some of today's Florida Bar President's Pro Bono Service Award recipients. One assists in landlord-tenant disputes, writes letters to creditors to stop harassing phone calls to clients, and helps with unemployment claims. Another assists local nonprofits that work to revitalize neighborhoods, including developing affordable housing. One of today's recipients represents children aging out of foster care by providing legal services and by volunteering with organizations to provide clothing and living resources, as well as education and career guidance. Another represents Holocaust survivors pro bono with claims for reparations from the German government. Another pro bono service by these individuals includes serving as attorneys ad litem and guardians ad litem, coordinating fundraising events and volunteer drives for local legal aid programs, and assisting clients on free legal hotlines in legal aid clinics and in community improvement programs. Again, thank you to the honorees, their families, friends, and colleagues. I have to take a point of personal privilege here today, because I too am from Hillsborough County. And as president of the Florida Bar, it makes me feel particularly proud to see so many people from the 13th Circuit who are here for all the good work that I know they do and have done over the years. And I think that even though Scott Hawkins chaired the committee and I didn't choose any of these people, it makes me very, very proud to see each of you honored and to come from there. And I have many other friends that are here today who also are being recognized for what they've done. And I think this is, above all, the day that makes you proud to be a lawyer. And so thank you to each of you. And at this point, I'd like to ask each of the recipients of the Florida Bar President's Pro Bono Service Award to come forward as I call your name and receive your certificate. From the First Circuit, Frederick J. Gant. From the Second Circuit, Carolyn Davis Cummings. From the Third Circuit, Monica Tybel. From the Fourth Circuit, Emerson Matthew Latzia. From the Fifth Circuit, Janice Joy J.J. Dahl. Congratulations. From the Sixth Circuit, Janine Smith Williams. From the Seventh Circuit, Tanya Romaine Schmidt Alpers. From the Eighth Circuit, Mary Ellen Cross. From the Ninth Circuit, Bruce Buford Blackwell. From the 10th Circuit, Jennings Kemp Brinson. From the 11th Circuit, Maxine Master Long. There are actually two recipients for the 12th Circuit. First, James D. Jim McDonald. You are very welcome. And second, Janella Kayla Leibowitz. And from the 13th Circuit, Jean Trudeau Tate. From the 14th Circuit, Robert Allen Bob Pell. From the 15th Circuit, Bridget Ann Berry. From the 16th Circuit, Mary Vandenbroek. From the 17th Circuit, Stephen Wayne Marcus. From the 18th Circuit, Stephen D. Kramer. From the 19th Circuit, William Kent DeBrawl. And from the 20th Circuit, David Elihu Steckler. Congratulations. Nice to see you again. And our out-of-state representative, Leon Claudio Skornicki. Again, congratulations to all our recipients. Let's give them a big hand of applause. At this time, I would like to call on the President of the Young Lawyers Division, Paige Greenley, to come to the podium to present the Young Lawyers Division Pro Bono Award.
Thank you, President Young, May it please the court, justices, and welcome to our many distinguished guests. It is my pleasure to introduce this year's Young Lawyers Division Pro Bono Service Award recipient, Rebecca Lauren Sosa from Miami. Throughout my years on the board, the consideration of nominations for this award has always been one of the favorite things that I got to participate in. The quality and quantity of nominees we receive is truly exceptional every year, and this year was no exception. The YLD Pro Bono Award recognizes a young lawyer who provides outstanding contributions to those in need of legal services. For those of you who don't know, a young lawyer is someone under 36 years of age or practicing less than 5 years. Although everyone in this room today recognizes the necessity for people, regardless of their financial needs, to have equal access to and representation in our justice system, unfortunately, the demand for free legal services largely outweighs the availability. With the difficult economic times we are enduring, the demand for free legal services has increased. At the same time, as many of you know, funding for legal aid service programs around the country has decreased. This makes it more important than ever that the members of this noble profession step forward and help to ensure that all people can enjoy equal access to justice under the law. The YLD has always been a leader in promoting pro bono services and in recognizing those lawyers who demonstrate their dedication to these efforts. We have a pro bono committee led by Maggie Mooney Portali from Sarasota, with whom our board has welcomed a number of pro bono directors across the state at our meetings throughout this year. We have also worked last year and this year to highlight our young lawyers' pro bono services in our monthly newsletters. And of course, today, we are continuing the longstanding tradition of honoring truly exemplary dedication to the provision of legal services by giving the award to Rebecca. The Florida Bar suggests that all lawyers aspire to contribute 20 hours annually to pro bono service. While that may not seem like a lot, and many of us aspire to do that, particularly as young lawyers at large firms, we quickly realize that with the dedication of this time to pro bono services, something else has to give. We all have so many demands on our time. This is one of the many things that makes Rebecca truly remarkable. Although she is still a young lawyer, she has gone above and beyond this aspiration of 20 hours a year. In fact, she's gone far beyond it. Rebecca is a 2009 graduate of the University of California, Berkeley School of Law, and she received her undergraduate degree from the University of Southern California. Realizing that she wanted to provide legal service to low-income individuals, after graduation from law school, Rebecca went to Buenos Aires with the goal of learning basic Spanish to allow her to provide legal services to the Spanish-speaking population. While in Buenos Aires, Rebecca met her now husband, Luciano, and as they figured out their immigration path to get him to the U.S., Rebecca started to see how she could realize her own dreams of helping low-income individuals, particularly women and children, through pro bono immigration work. Rebecca is now a fourth-year associate at the law firm of Hughes, Hubbard & Reed in its Miami office. However, she started her career in the New York office of this firm, and it was then that she truly started to show her dedication to pro bono work. As a summer associate there, she received the firm's Shell Fellowship, which allowed her to sponsor a pro bono project of her choice. Rebecca chose to travel to 2 border towns in Thailand to interview Burmese refugees about their reproductive health care for a report on potential human rights violations. During her first year as an associate, Rebecca contributed more than 1,000 pro bono hours, a mere 980 more than what we are asked to aspire to achieve. Among the work she has done, Rebecca successfully helped a Spanish-speaking Guatemalan woman who had survived abuse from her U.S. spouse to obtain legal permanent residency under the Violence Against Women Act. Rebecca has also worked to obtain survivor benefits for posthumously conceived children before the Social Security Administration. Again, another success story. Rebecca is quick to give credit to her firm, which she says has provided her with the essential support and encouragement necessary to work the amount of pro bono hours Rebecca has. We are lucky Rebecca decided to move to Florida and to continue her pro bono efforts here. She is currently participating in the Miami Pro Bono Roundtable and works to recruit and train other attorneys in her firm to take on immigration cases from Catholic Charities of Greater Miami. Ms. Elizabeth Sanchez Kennedy, a lawyer with whom Rebecca works closely at Catholic Charities, said the following of Rebecca. Rebecca's dedication changed the lives of her clients in a remarkable way, particularly with one young female client who is in need of legal, psychological, and physical assistance. Rebecca relentlessly sought to locate the resources the client needed to live in a safe environment. Rebecca's role as a pro bono attorney has impacted the immigrant community on a large scale and should be given recognition. Rebecca clearly recognizes that it is an honor to be a member of the legal profession and that position carries with it an obligation to help those in need. And she helps to remind all of us here that we have the same obligation. For this reason, I am very proud to present the Young Lawyers Division Pro Bono Award to Rebecca Lauren Sosa.
Wow, quite wonderful words. I am just so incredibly humbled and thrilled to be able to stand here before you. I also want to thank you all for taking the time to recognize pro bono work. It is so important, obviously, not just in economically difficult times, but it really is always important. We're so fortunate as lawyers, and there's so many people out there who could use some help. And I promise you, if you reach out your hand to somebody in their time of need, you can save them from hitting the floor and worse. And I've seen that firsthand. Many people have shared other similar stories of seeing that. And I'm so honored to be able to be a part of helping out someone. We've all needed help at various points in our life. So it's rewarding for me and rewarding for all of us to be a part of a profession that can just do so much to help so many people. So thank you all. Congratulations to all of the other people who have been awarded today, and to all of the other people who are contributing their time and money and efforts and support and encouragement, to all of the lawyers in Florida and beyond who are giving their time to pro bono work. And this award has just given me more juice to keep going for those sometimes very long hours that we have to devote in our jobs, and also to devote to this extra work that we do on the side. I wanted to talk a little bit about one of my more memorable cases that we heard a little bit about today. This was I learned Spanish in Buenos Aires when I met my husband, and this is my first Spanish-speaking client, so she holds a very, very special place in my heart. And she was just so brave. She's from Guatemala. She had a very difficult situation with an abusive spouse here in the U.S., and I salute her. She was able to get out of that relationship, get help, and got help from me and my firm, and from other organizations who help provide the resources to connect lawyers who want to do pro bono work. And it's really a transformational experience for her, and frankly for me. She was a caterpillar who just blossomed into a butterfly. When I first met her, she was timid and scared, and she just did not know where her life was going to go. And sometimes in the law, things take some time. So in the course of working with her for over 2 years, we finally were able to get her legal permanent residence, and I am so proud of her and of all of the efforts of my firm and the people who I worked with to help her get there. And she is a different person today, and that's because of the kind of work that we're supporting here today. So I carry her with me often. I brought her thank you note that she wrote to me after she was able to, now that she has legal status, she was able to go visit her son, who she sent back to Guatemala to live with her parents while she was in some very difficult times in the abusive home that she was in. And she called me from Guatemala with her son to say thank you. She was so happy. I could just hear it in their voices, started to cry. It was very touching, but I just want to hopefully inspire everyone in this room. Everyone can play a part. Everyone can make dramatic change in other people's lives and in their own lives as well through pro bono work. So in her card to me, she says, and I'll translate it afterwards, para una persona muy especial que ha contribuido a un cambio en mi vida para siempre. To a very special person who has contributed to changing my life forever. And being here today, I can really tell her she's really changed mine forever too. So thank you so much to all of you, and this is just such an honor to be here. Thanks very much.
It is now my pleasure to announce this year's recipient, Florida Legal Profession's highest public service honor, Tobias Simon Pro Bono Service Award. This year's award goes to Jeannie Trudeau Tate of Tampa. She's made it a priority of her career to help abused, neglected, and abandoned children, many with special needs. She is widely recognized as a premier adoption attorney and has used her skills for the benefit of those in need. She has done this through local bar organizations and has offered to handle every adoption-related case presented to Bay Area Legal Services. Ms. Tate also has worked with the state to provide private adoption options for children in need and created a nonprofit called Heart of Adoptions Alliance, Inc. The latter organization raises money to give private grants and interest-free loans to prospective adoptive parents. In all, she has donated many hundreds of pro bono hours. As an adoptive parent, it is especially my pleasure to ask this year's award recipient to approach the bench and receive your award, shake the hands of the justices, and proceed to the podium for remarks.
I'm exceptionally honored to stand before you all today, and I give 1,000 thanks to the justices of the Florida Supreme Court and the bar, particularly Gwen Young and Margaret Matthews, and to one of my very early mentors in life, Ben Hill, who not only gave me my first job, but emphasized by his word and by his deed the importance of pro bono work. And I want to also thank you and acknowledge the incomparable Rosemary Armstrong, who nominated me for this award, and remarkably, from Tampa, won this award last year. I salute everyone today that has been honored by the Florida Supreme Court. It is just overwhelming, I think, as you know, to be here. You know, I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I was the oldest of 4 children, and no one in my family even went to college. It was basically hard work, nose to the grindstone. We got things done. But South Florida was a place where there were very stark contrasts between the haves and the have-nots. And there were differences, even though we all played by the same rules, about the opportunities that were given to people. People of color, people whose names were different, people who looked different, people who spoke in a different way were not given the same opportunities. And so those images, as I matured, kind of seared a memory in my brain that I think contributed to the person that I am today, and has kind of caused me to live by a very, I guess, simple and succinct adage of Winston Churchill, which is, we make a life by what we earn, but we make a living by what we give. And giving has always been a part of my life, particularly in the area of abused, neglected, and abandoned children. And I sit here today in the company of someone like Tobias Simon. He was a giant, in our legal profession. He was a passionate visionary. He was someone whose work on behalf of the downtrodden exemplifies, I think, the very, very best that we can be as lawyers. But if he were here today, he would tell you that these awards are not about us. They are about shining the light of day on the disenfranchised, about the poor, and about the people that can't do the things in life that we can do, that can't even find a place to live, that's free of domestic violence, that's free of abuse, that's free of neglect. And so in his honor, I think I issue a clarion call to all of you, as some of my colleagues have done here today. Go back to your communities and embrace pro bono. Do it with a passion. Do it with perseverance, and I promise you won't be let down. It will be one of the most meaningful things that you do. And for my sake, I know our children count on you to do that. Thank you very much.
Those of you honored here today, those everywhere in Florida who honor the spirit of public service, let me urge you, there's no greater cause than serving justice, even when it means that you must place yourselves between the just causes of the poor and oppressed and the unjust opinions of the powerful. In so doing, not only do you help those in need, but as Tobias Simon recognized, you help preserve many of the basic rights to our republic. This is the very essence of the rule of law, which has made this nation great. In this vein, let's give a last round of applause for all of our award winners. On a final note, we invite everyone here who's not an award winner to proceed to the rotunda for a reception celebrating the accomplishments of this year's recipients. We ask that the recipients remain here in the courtroom for photographs, and you will later join our guests in the rotunda. The ceremonial session now stands adjourned.